Welcome to the Angus Report, a news program for cattle producers.
We have the week's top headlines from American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, including trends in supply and demand for certified Angus beef.
University research points to the merits of distillers' grains in feeding rations and its effects on both performance and quality.
We offer highlights from the recent American Angus Association Board meeting, a celebration honoring famed sire Earl Marshall, and more.
This is the Angus Report. Hello, I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Crystal Albers.
Our top news this week. Advancements in DNA technology provide cattlemen with better tools to evaluate superior animals and allow for the detection of genetic conditions. Now, while the idea of genetic mutation may seem more suited to sci-fi than cattle selection, genetic mutations, in fact, exist commonly in nature.
People tend to be a little frightened by mutation and think that it's a bad thing. But as a matter of fact, mutations happen all the time. In fact, they happen 20 to 30 to 40 times in every individual. In fact, you and I and all of our animals carry probably 5 lethal mutations, but they are typically recessive. The other important thing to keep in mind about mutation, not only is it natural and does it occur all the time, but it is absolutely necessary. It is the reason that we have Bos Indicus and Bos Taurus cattle. It's the reason that we have red versus black color. Those are all things that happen because of mutation. So mutation is very, very important. It has caused in the past some of the defects that we've dealt with in the Angus breed as well as every other cattle breed. Today, through genomic technology, we have tests for all of the known defects in Angus cattle. And so we can test those animals that may be potential carriers and then make decisions. Do you want to use them in your breeding program? And if so, make sure that you don't breed a carrier to a carrier. That will eliminate the possibility of seeing those defects occur in your herd.
The American Angus Association Board of Directors met this month for its regularly scheduled meeting and to conduct the business of the business breed. Angus cattle ranchers from across the country comprise the board, which met at American Angus Association headquarters September 10th through the 12th.
I think handling our genetic conditions this week, we've come up with some information for the registration papers that are going to be more helpful and really help people understand what they need to do and how to handle it. And it's a little bit of a new look, but that's a good thing for us.
Visit Angus.org for highlights from the Angus board meeting or for other Angus news. The board will meet again in November in conjunction with the organization's 130th annual meeting.
Despite a decrease in fed cattle supply this year, certified Angus beef has realized a 6% increase in cattle qualifying for the brand. David Odime, Assistant Director of Business Development with the Branded Beef Company, explains that high acceptance rates and better grading cattle have increased CAB supply, while demand for quality remains high. Certified Angus beef has achieved 3 all-time record months this year and is completing what is shaping up as the company's 7th consecutive year of record-breaking sales.
As we look at the overall picture of the beef industry, obviously we've seen some decreasing numbers of the fed supply and certified Angus beef. We've been able to realize actually some increases based on high acceptance rates. Cattle are grading very, very well. Producers are obviously doing a great job of getting those cattle in. And in doing so, we've been able to realize some increases of ultimately our supply, and then demand has certainly been there for the sales portion. Beef has gotten much more expensive, and I think a lot of our end users have realized that if you're going to pay that extra dollar to trade up from, say, chicken or pork and move up to the beef category, you're certainly willing to pay for that brand that's going to guarantee that eating experience, such as certified Angus beef. And we've seen that realized at retail level, at food service level, internationally, just a tremendous amount of growth in the brand across all segments of the industry.
New research from the University of Nebraska offers some insight into the use of distillers' grains. The university's Galen Erickson says distillers' grains allow feeders to improve their cost of gain and cattle performance, which allows them to pay more for incoming feeder cattle. Distillers' grain in the mix can also positively influence things like palatability and even quality grade.
Frankly, utilization of distillers' grains by the feedlot segment has improved their cost of gains, improved cattle performance, which ultimately, frankly, allows them to pay more for incoming feeder cattle. And we see that when we look at price trends across the nation, and many times the market has been set on where the cattle can be fed the cheapest, which lately has been in Nebraska and Iowa. Cattle eat about anything that's mixed with it, and so we get the same performance by mixing in those residues as the roughage source. So there's some intrinsic value to it to feed yards too. I would say the same would hold though for growing cattle. One of the ways we've used it heavily is to combine the wet byproducts with lower quality residues like corn stalks. We even limit feed those, sometimes mixed rations to cows.
The Environmental Protection Agency continues to feel pressure from animal activist groups on how the federal government collects information on confined animal feeding operations, or CAFOs. Approximately 2 years ago, the EPA published a rule that would have required CAFOs to submit extensive information to the agency, which the operations were already reporting elsewhere in many cases. In July 2012, the EPA withdrew the proposed rule, stating that there were already resources in place to collect the required information. The issue resurfaced in late August when several environmental and animal rights groups filed a suit in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia against the EPA, claiming the agency's withdrawal of the proposed rule lacks the rationale basis required by law. We'll report more information on this case as it becomes available. When the Angus Report returns, Cindy Campbell reports on how one cow-calf producer documents genetics with DNA.
And we travel to Denison, Iowa for a celebration honoring one of the most legendary sires in the Angus breed, Earl Marshall.
Visit Angus.org to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.
The Angus Report is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. Why not prevent respiratory disease before it steals from your bottom line? Vista Once protects your calves with the most complete respiratory disease coverage available. And Vision Blackleg vaccines can add 14 pounds per calf at weaning. Contact your veterinarian or animal health supplier today.
We've used Select sires for a long time, probably for the last 25 years. Their service is second to none.
Select sires has a lot of bulls that are balanced trait bulls that really fit our needs. We've always had really good conception with it, and I think they've got a real nice lineup of sires.
They like bulls that have all the economic traits, all the numbers that we're looking for, whether it be calving, or carcass, and they put as much emphasis on structure and phenotype as any company we've worked with.
We all have essentially genetics that have something to offer to a lot of people, and that's where service differentiates the very good ones.
For superior service and superior genetics, visit SelectSiresBeef.com.
We stand for what we believe in. We believe in you. It's more than a job. It's your way of life. Who you are, where you live, and what you do. The way you treat your cattle, your family, your employees, and your neighbors. The water you drink, the air you breathe, and the ground you walk on. What you do every day gives families something to gather around every night. It's about doing what's right for your cattle, your land, your community, and your business. It's your livelihood, and it means as much to us as it does to you. We all believe in responsible beef. Let's stand together at responsiblebeef.com.
Join 44 Farms October 26th for our annual fall sale in Cameron, Texas. The sale features 225 balanced trait performance bulls, 12 featured females, including the #1 proven ribeye female in the breed and full sister to New Day 454. 40 open fall heifer calves from the Select 44 Farms replacement herd, and 50 fall calving cows. Join us at the farm on October 26th in Cameron, Texas. 44 Farms, your trusted source for balanced Angus genetics.
What's one more calf worth? You make a big-time investment in genetic improvement, so why not get more calves? It starts with VitaFerm Conceptate with the AmaFerm Advantage for just 2 to 4 cents more a day. Feeding VitaFerm Conceptate before breeding season gives your cows the nutrition they need for improved conception rates. Plus, AmaFerm enhances digestion of feed, improving body condition, a critical component to fertility. So with cattle prices as high as they've ever been, what's one more calf worth? A lot. VitaFirm Conceptate. This stuff is good. Learn more at vitafirm.com.
Our family invites you to the R.A. Brown Ranch complete and total dispersal of our entire cow herd this October at the ranch near Throckmorton, Texas. Come join us for this historic event held in conjunction with our 39th annual 600-head bull sale, selling all 1,400 head of Angus, Red Angus, and Sim Angus females. Take advantage of this opportunity, October 9th, 10th, and 11th. For more information, visit rabrownranch.com.